we were told tomorrow morning that, well, they're no longer Irish, we have to give them to Europe as well too. Everything that we have seems to be, we can give it away, not for the benefit of our country, but for the benefit of others.
Patrick Murphy, CEO of the Irish South and West Fish Producers Organisation. What has been the immediate impact of Brexit on the Irish fishing industry?
The immediate impact is we've been told that we are going to lose a massive proportion of our fish. So the first figures that came out was that we were going to lose around 30 to 35 million from our coastal communities. But that has been changed now and remodified to match what is somewhere closer to the figure, 43 million. The fish that we catch, that the minister brought in front of the Oireachtas, was 251. So if you take that away, we're talking about a minimum of a 25% reduction. But we feel that there's an after-sales value as well, Lee. So the coastal communities won't lose just the 43. That's just what the boats put on the pier. So BIM do an economic study. So you multiply that by 2.5 times. So you're talking over 100 million a year minimum in our coastal communities. And that's going to destroy coastal communities. And we're not saying this may happen. We've had 3 decommissioning schemes already to solve the problem of Ireland not having enough fish in their own waters. And they have all failed, obviously, because the cure to this problem, as the Taoiseach said, was we'll tie up the boats for a while and then we'll find a permanent solution, which is decommissioning, which is actually taking boats off the water and never again replacing them. So that's taking away people's livelihoods that have been passed down from generation to generation. Can you imagine going to a family, and this is what we have to understand, their brother maybe have been lost, an uncle, maybe even a father, and then to be told that they stayed inside the industry and now they have to be pushed out of it, and not because there's no fish there. This is the critical message people have to understand. Our waters have plenty of fish. We're being asked to give those fish in even higher proportions than we have now to other countries to satisfy the Brexit deal. And the Brexit deal that had to be done was to give our nearest neighbour fish because the European Union decided they were entitled to it. And if they used the same methodology, the same reasoning for us, instead of us giving away fish, we'd have multiples of fish being given back to us if we were given the same treatment as the UK were given.
Surely there's many other countries other than Ireland that have been fishing in UK waters. How are we affected in comparison with Spain and France?
Here's the problem. The problem is, you see, that Spain and France and all those countries do not have the fish off their shorelines. They have to travel to other countries. And it's down to a geographical question as well as overfishing years in the past. So off their waters and their shorelines, just a few miles off, the water gets too deep in which you can trawl and catch fish. So we're on the continental shelf. This is geography. And that's where the fish come to spawn and breed because we have the best grounds. Look, it's very simple to explain to the ordinary person. You wouldn't plant a field of potatoes up on top of the mountains and top of stones. You have to go to where the ground is soil and rich with nutrients into it, that you can plow it and dig it and farm it. It's the same thing in the sea. You have to go where the fish are. Now we're being told we are on the green grounds, but we're being told you can go to the hills and we'll take the fish. And when the UK demanded more fish, they're now asking us to pay with our fish as well. So in other words, the countries who had a historic right to come to our waters under the common fishery policy, which we all knew was a bad deal to start with, are now being told they don't have to catch those fish. They can give them to the UK to allow them to continue to catch other fish inside in UK waters. So we're being hit twice. We're losing fish ourselves, our proportionate share, which is disproportionate, but we're also allowing the trading of fish from the Celtic Sea, the Irish Sea, northwest of Rockall and Scotland, and down the northwest and off the Mayo coast to be traded as a commodity to pay the bill for others. Look, If somebody sat down and wrote this out and put it in front of any Irishman in the country and said, would you agree with this? I'd be absolutely 100% confident to say they would say no. Absolutely not. So if it's wrong now, it'll never be right. So we need people to understand this isn't just about fishermen. This is about coastal communities. This is about a way of life. This is about doctors, nurses, Gardaí. People in rural Ireland raise families, and these families go to other areas of the country working there and move around after jobs. So these people in Dublin and every cities come from rural areas. If we destroy the rural areas, it's going to affect everything else. Everything will be impacted. We're all connected. We have to protect each other. Surely be to God, people can understand that this is your resource. It's not just a fisherman going out to sea. This will affect everybody. It's the same as natural gas. It's the same as the bogs in the Midlands. It's the same as the air we breathe. Can you imagine the offshore wind farms and everything else if we were told tomorrow morning that, well, they're no longer Irish. We have to give them to Europe as well too. Everything that we have seems to be, we can give it away, not for the benefit of our country, but for the benefit of others. So what my question is this: is this European Union, the principles and the core principles that they profess to follow, is this one of them, where they're going to tell the Irish people that your fishermen have to give up their livelihoods, their historic rights to earn a living for the sake of others? Like, what does that say about the European Union if these are the people that are supposed to stand for right and just? It's crazy.
For the past several years, these Brexit negotiations have been ongoing, and the Irish government have shown tremendous public loyalty to the European Union throughout these talks. Do you think that we're being rewarded for that now?
But we've been betrayed. There was a mandate given to Michel Barnier, and we in the organisation, despite our differences, set all them aside, Lee, so that we could have a united front to try and keep things the way they were. And if things kept the same the way they were, even though we still wouldn't be happy, because we still have a poor share. Look, we have 4,500 tons of hake to catch out of a quota of 63,000. So these fish are in our waters, and that's the share.
Sorry, 63,000 tons in Irish waters.
Yeah, from around Irish waters up now. Not all of them there, but the vast majority. You can go into the Marine Institute's website and see this information from yourselves. And as I said, Ireland isn't just about where the fish are. It's where they come to breed and grow. It'll be, again, to put this in a context for somebody in an agricultural setting. If you don't have seed potatoes, somebody else produces those seed potatoes and you set them and sow them. Same with carrots or any other seeds. But the most important part of the link there is who produces the seed. If you don't have the seed, you don't have anything else. And we provide that for all the fishing grounds in Europe. It's there on the Marine Institute's website. The fish come to Irish waters to start the process, to breed here and then move into other countries, the vast majority of the fish. And yet we're the ones given the smallest share of those fish. Where in other countries they're said, well, the fish are in your waters, we'll give you more. It doesn't add up. And people need to realize we're losing out here, the entire Irish people. Too many times you hear fishermen moaning. This is not about moaning about not having enough money in your pockets. This is about surviving. This is about the rights of the Irish people are being traded away here, taken away. It's unbelievable what's happening. And people have to understand, if they can do this for fishing, there's nothing stopping the European Union to come in tomorrow and say, right, you're producing too much milk, you're producing too much beef, you're producing too much cheese. Like, where would it end? It's absolutely unbelievable. This is a taking away of our rights as a people, and it shouldn't be allowed to continue. We need fairness, and that's all we want. Just enough to keep our boats fishing. We have only 164, Lee, right? And I know there's a lot of information in this, so please play it back. There's 164 boats left in our fleet. That's it. We're at, I think, 2.5% of the European fishing fleet, with 16% of the grounds. So, like, we've already been decimated. We've already paid enough to the European Union in this industry. And they're asking us to pay more, and unfairly so. So, like, even the 43 million. The UK are getting 180 million, and we're paying 43 of that. Sure, that tells anybody who's disproportionately paying the fee. One example of this, very easy to understand. In the Irish Sea, and the clue is in the name, there's a stock there called herrings. The UK, after this deal, will get 99% of that stock, and the Irish fishermen are going to be left with 1% in the Irish Sea. So that's a clear indication of how we've been mistreated. And we need the people of this country to stand up, write a letter, make a phone call, nothing too hopefully taxing on you, but we need you to talk about this, because this is the start of a slippery slope as far as I'm concerned, you know, and we have to stand up for our people before it's too late.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick.